Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, happy Friday. Happy end of the work week. Happy day, happy day. Task, I know you're happy. I can feel the vibrations, the good vibrations from you, man. Everything good. How's your week been so far, sir?
And man, you are tapped in. I'll tell you, we are an entire continent away from each other, and you pick up the vibes from all the way in the upper northwest section of North America. It is pretty amazing. You never cease to amaze me, Mr. Olson. Uh, I'm doing well. It's a very interesting time. Before we went on air, we know you're in seventh heaven. You had your draft day movie extravaganza posted on Cine TV.
Yes, sir.
Then you had the actual draft, and now we have an overview put out by the Leo Finance team of their Polycub uh, plans. And are you ready for Beehive? Because Beehive is coming up. They are going to put a liquidity pool for Hive on Polygon.
I'm ready for it. I can't tell you how much fun I have using MetaMask every day.
Well, but at
And
least it's not MetaMask tied to Ethereum, so there is that.
right, yeah. It's still like stabbing your foot with a rusty screwdriver, but
It's not that bad. I
Really,
actually,
I
I
hate
haven't.
the
I'm
experience.
getting used to it. I don't have
Really,
any problems
I
with.
get errors all the time. Like all the time, an error pops up. Like this transaction didn't
See,
go
I've been on
through, or
Polygon. I don't understand. I hear a lot of people saying there's issues with Polygon. I've had more issues when I'm doing stuff on BSC on Cub Finance than I have on Polygon. The only problem I've had on Polygon is, and I don't know if it's Polygon or if it's Polycub, is at times I can't claim my airdrop.
right.
It just doesn't show up. It's grayed out, and I control R till I'm blue in the face. And but other than that, I've had one or two situations where the transaction wouldn't go through, in probably now about 250. So I really haven't found a Polygon to be a problem. I see everybody saying it is, and it's not reliable. And I'm like, this is better than BSC. I mean, BSC, I had trouble all the time. I had problems with the bridge on BSC. I would send Leo to be Leo and toss a coin if it showed up. The
Mm.
bridge on Polycub seems to be a lot better. And maybe they fixed some of that stuff. I haven't gone to Belio in some time, so maybe that's been improved.
Mm.
But there's a lot of cool stuff happening, and great CTT call the other day and yesterday, and seems like there's going to be an online gaming site that's going to try to push HBD as the stable coin.
Would that be a Rock of the Ragnar variety?
No, this is a
No.
gaming site. This is No
Oh,
Limit
really?
Coin.
Oh, No Limit. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, Dan was really big on No Limit Coin, right? Um that was
I
his.
don't know the relationship.
Mhm.
The CEO was on yesterday on CTT, and it was really Starker who was given the sales pitch. And by the end of it, he was aware of Hive, and if he had some interactions with Dan, obviously he would be aware of
Right,
Hive.
right. Yeah.
But I don't know how aware he was. And by the time Starkers was done with him, he was like, "Yeah, it makes sense for us to push people into HBD. I mean, we'll use USDC and the others, but
Right.
it's better for us." And so, that could be a big breakthrough if they get
Yeah.
their funding and they get that thing set up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exciting. That is exciting. Um so let's dive into people's questions. We don't have a ton, but I thought we could, take our time, dive into them, have some fun. End of the week. Big shout out to Jimmy who's at Facebook, and we got Unorg Militia and Lisa is also watching in on Vim. So hello to the live viewers. Everyone watching this replay, you don't know what you're missing. You come live. This is where the magic happens. This is where the good vibrations are that Tass just mentioned.
And you get the visuals
and the visuals. Like,
from two guys who have faces for radio.
Yeah. Anyways. Hello, Edgar. Welcome. Okay, so let's dive in. I called this one this week was called The Secret Sauce. You like how I did that? Right? The Secret Sauce. Yeah? No? No. My humor is very, I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? It needs work. Anyways.
Evolve. It's evolving.
It's definitely evolving. First question is from the good sir, Mr. Chris. He says, I noticed that on Hive, everyone is in a race with each other to stake the most tokens every week. I admit I have got caught up in the race myself. For a person with modest means, what is a good building philosophy as far as being able to 2x, 4x, 8x one's Hive power and other holdings? I am trying to come up with a good personal financial growth plan with Hive and Hive Engine holdings. Is 15% to keep liquid for purchase, then stake everything else? Is that plan advisable, or should a person hold 10% of Hive Engine holdings equivalent in HBD savings? For example, Hive and Hive Engine is worth 1,000 USD, so 100 HBD in savings. Don't understand that last bit. But let's tackle this. What would be a good plan to basically attack this if you wanted the 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x your holdings? Would you keep liquid so you could buy into other tokens? Like how would you approach this? Not financial advice.
I'm with you. I go all in on Hive power till I get a significant amount. You can do things with the Hive power. You can delegate the Hive power out to get other tokens that you're interested in. So if you're interested in Leo, you can delegate Hive power to get Leo. If you're interested in, do you pay out in listeners or do you pay out in CTP? I think you pay out CTP, don't you? If you delegate, but either way, you delegate to you guys. You can delegate to ActiFit. I mean, ActiFit just went on a run. Right. You can delegate to ActiFit and get AFIT tokens. So that's how I would approach it. Is I would look at really growing that Hive power. And then taking that Hive power, if you want, then you could delegate it out. So effectively, you're focusing on building 2 tokens or maybe 3 tokens at the same time, because you put all your rewards into Hive power, and then you delegate to 1 or 2 projects that you want to acquire the other tokens. And that's probably the easiest way. And then, of course, I would always suggest be active, comment, post, because then you'll get an assortment of other tokens, Hive Engine tokens usually. As long as you're not tag spamming, you start linking to the appropriate tribes, you'll get a few more tokens. Even if you're not interested in them, then you could sell them and, then go into CTP if that's your token of choice, or Leo if that's your token of choice, and enhance your progress. So that would be the first thing that I would start with. And then if you catch something that goes on a run and it suddenly does something crazy and goes up 3x for no reason, maybe you take a little off the top and then throw that back into HBD or something, and as a parking spot.
This is why I do every Saturday night I do my little Hive goals posts, and what's really important about that is that very basic math can tell me how I'm doing. Like if I have goals that I'm hitting and I want to hit by the end of the year, I know I have X amount of months or X amount of weeks left. I have this target. Okay, how much do I need to hit that target? And then if I do the math that, let's say, I'm just shooting numbers out. Let's say I need 50 Leo every week to hit my goals, and I'm earning 75 Leo, I know that I basically have 25 Leo I can play with. And I'm just shooting a number and a token out there for the sake of the example. So if I'm going to hit my goal, staking my 50 Leo, that means that I have a percentage I can play with. I can maybe bump it up, maybe some selling, maybe taking it to like we said, like Polycub or Cub Finance. I mean, there's different things you can do with that, and I think that when you have like a plan in place, you know what you need to hit that goal, then you can adjust accordingly. And if you have that extra, put it into something else. If you aren't on target, adjust so you get on target.
But John, here's a question. What's the first token in your weekly post?
Oh, it's Hive Power. I mean, come on. I mean,
See, that's where you start. And I agree with you on that. That's the starting point.
Yeah, Hive is like the magical unicorn, and everything happens from Hive. So I would hit your Hive goal, and then everything else is like bonus. So good question though. Hope that helps, man. Next question is from my Path to Fire. Are there any CTP curation trails to join? There's a couple. I know PH1102, that's Zoltan. He's got one. Bradley Arrow, he's got one. And I mean, the Listeners account, you can follow that. We upvote stuff all the time. The HE Index account you can follow. It's not necessarily a curation trail, but you can follow what we upvote, and that'll get a whole bunch of tribes upvoted and stuff. So they're out there. It's not. I don't know about you, dude. Are curation trails still a big thing? I haven't really heard them talked about a lot recently.
I don't know. I think now they're less of an issue because there's so much out there where if you delegate, you'll get rewarded in addition to
right.
The curation. So as we were just talking about, why should I delegate my HP to a curation trail or not delegate? Why should I follow a curation trail with my HP when I can delegate it to Leo Finance? They do the curation and I get paid in a separate token. Now, the curation trail obviously will be paying me in HP as opposed to in Leo or CTP or whatever. But, again, it comes back to what are you focusing upon? And I guess curation trails are still big with some of the bigger accounts that just do auto voting and Freedom doesn't even show up, but he votes 10 times a day. I don't know. They're not talked about like they were in the past. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah. Hope that helps. Path to Fire. Thank you for the question. Alente is up. This is Tom. He said, I am similar to Chris. I have only so much money I can invest. I am trying to get a sense of priorities. I am only investing strongly in about five or six tokens with CTP at the top and then index and worker beat. What is a good strategy for investing in Hive? I mean, the best strategy for me is always dollar cost averaging. That is my idiot-proof way of accumulating in anything I believe in. And Hive, I believe in. When I first got started, every day, every week, didn't matter. I was always stacking. Now it's come to creating dollar cost averaging into certain projects within Hive Engine, but dollar cost averaging is it's such a fantastic strategy because then you again, and this is something we haven't spoken about for a few weeks. We're not going to talk about price. Price is irrelevant when you dollar cost average because when it's up, you're like, hey, cool, my holdings are worth more. When it's down, it's like, cool, I get to buy more Hive for the same amount of fiat. So that's the best strategy, I believe. And dollar cost averaging doesn't mean you got to drop $1,500 a month into this. I mean, you could do $15 a week if that's all you have to spend. But the important thing is that it's consistent. That I think is the key to that. But I don't know.
Well, and the other advantage to Hive is you can post comments, you can post articles, and you earn some Hive, which then your dollar cost average is you're adding in tokens at the cost of zero.
Yeah.
So that's really where you can bring your amount you put in, and your dollar cost average can go way down, because if you put $100 in, but then you earn $100 worth of Hive in, rewards, now you're down to $50.
Yeah.
And that's a real advantage that you don't have with a lot of other uh, tokens. Is, yeah, you can stake them, but you don't get, with the Hive Power in particular, you get the 2.85% or whatever on the inflation adjustment
Without
for
even
inflation.
thinking. Yeah.
You do your curation. If you keep it in your curation, you earn X%. And then you can, do your commenting and your posting and earn, whatever more. And so that all feeds into the same trough.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really amazing when you do the math of it. I mean, I curate, but I don't put a big, like I know there's a lot of people, especially before in the previous hard fork, like the timing of voting and stuff like that. That
Yeah.
doesn't matter anymore. But there's some people that really do set it up where that's their game plan on Hive, is to curate to get the maximum returns and stuff. I'm not even trying. Like, I literally pay zero attention to it. I'm still, according to Hive stats, still around 7 to 10% without trying. So you
Yeah,
combine
I'm at
that,
about 8, so I'm
right?
right
Like,
there with you.
and I don't think you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, like this is the perfect time for me to upvote something. It's like you find something you like, you're going to vote it, right? I mean, that's kind of my strategy.
I
I
don't
don't.
even know when a good time is now that they changed
I
everything.
know
It's like,
it's.
if it's in the first day, it's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
don't know how you get 12 or 15% anymore. I don't know how to do it.
yeah, maybe it's the amount you vote or something. I don't even know.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but I mean that you combine that with the fact that you're getting 2.8% just having it powered up without thinking about a thing. Then you have your HBD at 20%. I mean, you can literally, and this is the post I made last night about like how yes, you can get this passive income coming in, but you got to build it. And saying, okay, I got 500 Hive power and I'm going to live off of my curation and stuff. Well, no, you're not going to. But you build it, you're active, you show up, you do stuff, and then all of a sudden, this stuff starts compounding. It starts snowballing into something beautiful. And I don't know about you. I mean, this is going back in time. We're gonna do, a little. We're gonna do the Scooby time warp thing here now. Did you get that reference? Do you get that
Yes,
Scooby?
I do.
Scooby. Okay, good. I want to make sure I'm not, like confusing people. Well, that's yeah, I got problems. I don't even know what I was going to
Under
say.
40 may not get it, but I passed 40 long ago.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but so going back in time, like I don't know if you remember what this was like to get to 5,000 Steam Hive power back then. This to me looked like this insurmountable goal. It was like this
Mhm.
mountain I was never going to get to. But as soon as I hit that, I got to 10,000 pretty quickly. And then 10,000 to 50,000 happened not like overnight, but it seemed to just keep going and keep going. But to get to that first 5,000, I don't know if you remember this, but for me, just seemed like an eternity. Like, I'm pretty sure I didn't hit 5,000 until my first year on Hive.
Well, and I was buying in at that time too. Hell, it was hard to get
Two,
to
$3
500
each.
to
Yeah.
get the so I wouldn't have to vote it 100%.
Right, the Steam It vote bar.
The
You get
voter bar.
you get the 500 and you can use the slider bar. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was buying it at $1.20, $1.30 at that time. So like you were saying, I didn't have a lot of cash, so I was throwing in a little bit each month.
Yeah.
But it's like $100 here, $100 there, and didn't get me very far. It just takes compounding and time, and of course, as we've said over and over again, you got two tokens, or coins. You got Steam and you got SBD. There was no Hive engine tokens.
Right.
There was no CTP or Leo or any of that stuff. I mean, that was still when I joined. Well, when you joined too, that was still probably a couple years away. So it's just one of those things where high power is the starting point. Focus upon that, but do it through a front end and
Mm-hmm.
not through Peak D. Do it through CTP, do it through Leo Finance, because then you're going to get your HP,
Mm-hmm.
but then you're simultaneously making yourself known in a community. And then you can get the attention of me and Leo. You can get the attention of Eliana and Blaine and some of the other people in CTP. You can get, Marky and STEM Geeks. If you go into these tribes and you start to put yourself on the radar, that will accelerate your ascent. Now, obviously, you have to not only believe in the topic, but you have to believe in the community, because if you're getting all these tokens and you're just selling all your CTP, well, the second Eliana sees that, she may say, we're not going to quite upvote your content anymore because you're
Right.
just
Right.
taking the tokens and dumping it. And that's, something you have to pay attention to. But if you believe in the CTP community and the project, if you believe in Leo Finance, if you believe in whatever the tribe is, Hash Kings, it doesn't matter which one you go to, uh, just use that front end and uh, make yourself an important part of that community, and
Right.
you will get your hive and you will get your hive engine token, which then you can build the stake off that. And as we're seeing now, part of this roadmap for Polycub, there's going to be other hive engine tokens added to Polygon through Polycub that, who knows, maybe you'll be able to take your CTP, maybe you'll be able to take your P Hives coming up, or your AFIT, or who knows what, and maybe you'll be able to throw it in a liquidity pool on Polycub and earn 30%. I don't
Right.
know. I mean,
Mhm.
it's just, you get the tokens, you get involved, you get the tokens growing, and guess what? All of a sudden, other stuff shows up,
Yep.
and then you got options to
Yep.
the point where, what do you do with your Leo, John? Well, you can stake it, you
I
can
just
sell
yeah.
it for other tokens, you can throw it into the B Leo liquidity pool, the P Leo liquidity pool. You can put it on B Leo and swap it for Cub. You can swap it for Polycub. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do with it without even leaving the damn Leo ecosystem.
Yeah.
And then you can go to Hive Engine and sell it for something totally different.
Mm.
Sell it for
Oh,
Swap Hive, pull it off of Hive Engine using HivePay.io, cheap plug there, and then buy yourself some
thank you.
HBD off the internal exchange.
Yes, that's actually that's actually a good lead into the next question. And then Unarmed Militia got a couple questions we'll get to on Vim right now. But Yakingo actually says, what is the cheapest way to pass swap Hive to HBD?
HivePay.io.
HivePay.io. You
I
do your
used it
swap
last
Hive to
night.
Hive, and then it's totally free on the internal market to swap Hive to HBD. So
I used it last night. I sold some of the Hive Engine tokens that I just, accumulate here and there. And I ended up, it's been a while since I did it. I ended up with like 40 swap Hive.
nice.
Went to HivePay. There was about 280 liquid Hive. My 40 obviously fit in very easily. Got it in like 30 seconds and did exactly what you said. Just went on the internal exchange and
Mm.
just went sell Hive, and I just went right with what the asking price was. It wasn't that bad, and got it within three or 4 seconds, and
Mm.
staked it. Put it in HBD savings, and I think, and I'm going to be writing a post about this in the next couple of days, but I think it is very important. There's about 140,000 HBD available each day on the internal exchange that is allocated to HBD stabilizer by the DAO, by the Decentralized Hive Fund. It's important for all of us, even if you're going and buying only a few HBD, let's all go there and get as much HBD as we can get a day. So If you're going to swap a few Hive over, do that. If you're going to, get rid of a few Hive engine tokens that, really don't interest you, do that, and then just pull them out through HivePay, because HivePay is great for small amounts. If you're trying to move 2,000 swap Hive, it might be an issue, but 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, it's no problem.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, that can add up if a bunch of us are pulling a lot of that HBD out, even if we're just throwing it into savings. Let's get it out of the Dow.
Absolutely. Good question though. It's perfect lead in there. So let's Unorg's got a couple, but this was one that we were just talking about. So I'll hit this one first. He said, Task brought up how you bought in when Steam was $1. The other day I was thinking of asking, how much of your own money do you put into Hive? Are you continually putting new money in? And this, I know for me personally, it's gone down a lot compared to what it used to be. I don't know. I mean, everything's on the blockchain, you can see, but I don't put personally a lot of fiat into Hive now. I did before. Now it's mostly.
I haven't worked in 3 years. I don't have any fiat.
There you go. So there's your answer.
I mean, no.
Task is living the Task does. He's living the dream that everyone on Hive wants to. He's living off the blockchain. It's
Actually, I'm not even to that point yet. I was thinking about that this morning. I got to look it up and map it out. But I still have fiat savings that I've been living off of. So I haven't actually tapped into my earnings yet. So I still have not taken any crypto and gone to fiat yet. But that will be coming up probably by the end of this year, maybe into next year. I'll have to see where everything falls. But I once in a while I'll throw some fiat in, but that's why I feel the transition for the hunt for yield is very important. Is so those of us who are trying to figure out how to live off this stuff, it's kind of hard when you don't know if your holdings will be twice the price they are now by the end of the year, or a quarter of the price they are now by the end of the year. And so that's where, putting stuff into these liquidity pools or putting stuff into HBD savings and stuff where you get a consistent, ROI, even if it's like Cub, where you're getting, what is Cub Kingdom paying now? I think 40%, 45%, something like that. Even though that's Cub, it's still the ROI is based in USD. Which, for you, then you just take the discount out for Canadian dollar. So that's why that's important. Well, I mean, that's you transfer it out into USD. That's not going to do you any good. You need to swap that then to Canadian. So what I would say is, I don't do it anymore, but I did it in the early stages. And if you are a long-term believer in Hive, as John and I are, if you are looking at getting active, it is a great way to enhance your influence. Because keep in mind, and this is something that John mentioned before that I didn't comment on, but he mentioned if you have a 500 high power account, you can realistically triple or quadruple that.
Yeah.
Without putting money in. And if you put some money in, you might be able to 5-6x it. There is no way in hell John or I are going to double our account. And if we wanted to do it with fiat, it would take a shitload of fiat to get there. So somebody with a 500 high power account can increase their influence by double, tripling, or quadrupling the amount of high power they have.
Yeah.
It's hard for bigger accounts to do that. In fact, it's damn near impossible unless they have just tremendous resources. I mean, how is Block Trades going to double his account?
Right.
I mean, realistically, I guess he could, but it'd be very, very difficult and cost him a fortune. So this is where we have to keep in mind that even though you are a smaller account and you look at it and, I only got like 5 Hive. Well, that's 1%. That's You keep doing that every week, you're going to get a hell of a return over the course of a year. And, if you got a 500 Hive account and you're active, you easily could get more than 5 Hive in a day between your curation and commenting and upvotes on comments, and then off posts. If you're putting up a post every day, I mean, you might get a couple Hive off that. So, uh, there's only about 15,000 accounts transacting a day, and I would say less than half of them are posting accounts. So the ability to stand out, as John has mentioned time and time again, the ability as a content creator to stand out. And then, oh, by the way, another cheap plug coming up. If you utilize listeners, I mean, I'm finding people on listeners or through their listeners email. I'm like, who the hell is this person? Because I just don't cross paths with them. But all of a sudden, I mean, I didn't really know about it. I think I did know of Eco Alex, but I forgot about. But Eco Alex is now in my inbox every day.
All right.
I don't forget about Eco Alex now. I don't. And, that's what it's about. Use it. You'll get some comments. You might get a few upvotes. You might, use the tools that are here. But if you can buy in at 88, 89 cents, again, the disclaimer, not financial advice, but you're buying in lower than I did and maybe lower than John did. Well, I don't know what he was buying at.
Oh, I was $2-3. Yeah.
So you're buying in cheaper than we did. And, we were buying, I don't even remember. I think I ended up over time throwing about $5,000 in, but I don't recall exactly the amount.
Yeah. There you go. Good stuff. Hope that helps. Unorg's question, though, this is what he said actually a little bit more previous couple minutes ago. He said, I got a question. If CTT gave an update on the Speak network, what do you think of the progress of Speak and or the progress of the market and Larynx token so far? What do you think of the health of the Larynx token? Figured I'd give you multiple ways to answer, so take your pick.
I have no idea on Larynx. I haven't paid any attention. I'm not worried about it. They'll build in a use case. The Larynx is designed to incentivize node support. They realized that not everybody was going to run out and run a node. So they are going to build in where you can support those who run nodes. Evidently, I don't know if we'll call it a delegation or what it is. As far as the network itself, they're plugging along. I mean, it's going to be probably fourth quarter before they have a framework up and running that everybody can see. So it's just a lot of technology, and it might even extend into next year. As Starker says, there is a lot of new technology they are designing and having to basically code. So, I mean, this is a question for Tuesday, since we are going to have Dan and Matt on CryptoManiacs on Tuesday. It's a 1:30 start Eastern time instead of a 1 o'clock start because they have their developer meeting beforehand. But, I think I have no reason. I'm on CTT every week. I have no reason to doubt that they're not pressing ahead. They're not moving forward. I believe they are. And I believe they are not only committed, they are convinced they will pull this off and bring this to market. And they are doing it. I don't think they're going to stop till it's done.
There you go. Good answer. Good question. DevPress is up next. He says, do discuss what some of the Hive strategies that have worked out for you guys. And in context of staking, what has been your experience so far? Like which tokens you are betting on the most, say Index or Bro or any other token that you prefer. Looking forward to the answers. I mean, my strategy is, this is corny. This is beating a dead horse. This is me and Task's staple. Show up every day. That's the strategy. Like
there's the secret.
But see, I don't want to, like, it's like I'm oversimplifying it, and it almost sounds too good to be true, but it's a lot easier said than done. It's so much easier to say, hey, show up every day. But people have the attention span of goldfish.
Okay,
They
show up every day and do it.
Yeah. And
Actually,
do
show up.
something. Yeah.
Show up each day and do it.
Yeah,
Show up.
I wish there was more. I wish we could package a consulting project here
Yeah, that we
together
can
and
like
make
charge $49.99 for a free download,
Yeah.
for a download. PDF
come
download.
listen to this deep secret that is hidden in the guru's mind of Taskmaster. Get into the mind of Taskmaster. Literally show up every day and do something.
Yeah.
Like that's the strategy.
Fucking start commenting, people. You know, it's not that complicated. Engage. Write your posts. You know, look at other posts. See how they're formatted. See what the idea of like actually breaking up your paragraphs is, like using the enter button. You know, put some headers in there and, you know, a couple pictures and things of that nature. And then start maybe doing a little SEO and, you know, engage with people who leave comments. Send it out on listeners. You'll get 5-6 comments just from listeners. Engage with those people. You know,
I got a question for you. We originally addressed this in our little mastermind session we have on Wednesdays, and then we brought it up. Eliana, Blaine, and myself did last night on Thursday Night Live. I made a statement, and I'm like, this is going to people are either going to be really inspired by this or they're going to hate me forever. And the statement was this: if you are not showing up every day, and it doesn't necessarily mean posting entire blog posts, but I'm saying commenting. If you're not showing up every day and commenting or creating, and you're not doing this every day, you might as well give up and just go find SafeMoon or something else to invest in. Because Hive, if you expect to be in top of mind and get rewarded and get commented and get followers and get all of this attention, and you're showing up once every third Sunday of the month with a, oh, hey, I'm really excited to be here post, no one's going to remember you. And it's not that they hate you. It's not that like, oh, look at this idiot again showing up. It's that there's so many people like Taskmaster that are showing up every day, like Jay Fang, that are showing up every day and putting in the work. And if they're doing it, and there's some people like Jimmy, for example, who shows up every single time we go live. He's always posted on listeners. He's also got a full-time job, folks. So the whole, oh, I got a full-time job and I can't. There's an amazing thing called Ecency. It's an app. It's on your phone. It's really slick. And then apparently Leo Mobile is out there too. Just saying, there's tons of options out there to comment. So would you agree with that? If you are not commenting and engaging with people each and every day, you're basically wasting your time. If you want to build, you know, lifetime potential income from this chain.
Yeah, I agree 100% because it's baffling to me. You know, are you going to show up once in a while at the gym and expect that to work? Are you going to eat healthy once in a while and expect that to work? You going to make a sales call once in a while and expect to be a top sales professional? You're going to show up to your job and turn on your computer once a week and expect to succeed? I mean, that's not how it works in any aspect of life. And so why do people think coming to Hive is any different? And I'll go one step further and say, if you're not doing what you just said, you're not serious. You're not serious about this. You think it's a joke. It's a game. And if you do, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But don't expect to get rewarded, to have a brand, to build a brand, to be taken as a serious content creator in any of the tribes, because the Elianas of the world, the Taskmasters of the world, They Call Me Dance, the Marky Marks, are not going to hit your stuff up typically with big upvotes if you just show up once in a while. There's a thing called dedication. And if you show yourself dedicated to CTP, the heavy hitters in CTP will be dedicated to you. If you show yourself either to be somebody who's just trying to pilfer out of CTP or who shows up once in a blue moon, well, guess what? Blaine and Eliana aren't going to give you the time of day. And I don't blame them. Why should they? And this is for, and I don't want to over dramatize anything. because it is social media and there is a fun aspect, and we can have a lot of fun commenting. And, I leave smart ass comments to John all the time, both on Twitter and,
Yes, the Twitter one with my wife yesterday was definitely it's like.
well, that wasn't a joke. I was being serious.
No, I know you're being serious. You're like, dude,
let's be honest. You certainly did marry up there. Look at that woman. It's like, no,
I know. Like, how did that happen?
Okay. Well, what are you holding over? Like, did you witness a murder or something? I mean, what do you have on her?
I say that all the time. Yeah.
But it's like anything else. I mean, I'll give you an example. There's a guy I follow on YouTube, and he would post 3 times a week. And it was a consistent, and I wouldn't watch a Sunday show because I was kind of charting and I didn't really care about that. And he had like a Tuesday, Thursday, or a Wednesday, Friday show. I think it was Wednesday, Friday. And so I would watch 2 of his shows a week. And all of a sudden, he started going every day. He kept his Sunday show, but the other 6 days a week, he would put up stuff that I would enjoy. Mm-hmm. And I can't say for certain why he did that, but I think it's because he wanted to become more of a presence in that arena. And to do that, you have to put up a video every day. And so he does a 12 to 15-minute video every single day on this particular topic. And he's been doing it for probably about 6 months. And guess what happened? I started to see him make the YouTube rounds on similar content. Other content creators started inviting him on. And, he's out there building a brand. And I don't pay enough attention to see how many subscribers he has to estimate what type of money he's making from Google, but I'm sure he's making something. But that's what it takes. And Hive is no different. The difference is with Hive, you can go to a Leo Finance. You can do something like FinGuru did, who sits there and starts putting out SEO content, and he's in Leo Market Talk. I know FinGuru. I don't know him. I know him. I don't know who he is. He's a guy in India. That's all I know. But I see his content. I know his content. I know his name. I know Jimmy now. I mean, I didn't know Jimmy 6 months ago till really Listeners. And all of a sudden, Jimmy started showing up everywhere on Listeners. It's like, well, this guy's freaking serious. And, then we have him on the show and, find out he's a very intelligent guy. He's a Met fan. So, it's like he's also a masochist and likes to be abused, obviously, because he's a Met fan. But he does have a degree of intelligence because he doesn't root for the Jets. So that does show a few of his brain cells are working. But that's what it takes. I mean, why is Jimmy? Why is Miss Las Vegas? Why is Eco Alex? Why do I know a lot of these names who've just come on my radar in the last couple of months? And it's not even their dedication to Hive, which they are there. It's their dedication to Listeners. And I'm on Listeners every day reading emails. And guess what I see? The same people.
Right. Yeah.
And they're not sending out the dopey stuff that says, here's your list builder and make $10,802 in the next 29 and a half days. They're not sending out that dopey stuff. They're sending out stuff and I click on it. And there's somebody else of late who's been sending out non-Hive related stuff, but to a health and nutrition blog. And I'm not really reading that stuff because I eat like shit. Maybe I should, but I give the guy or girl an upvote because guess what? It's like this is quality stuff that they're spreading around. It may not even be their stuff. So, that's how you get on the radar. You show up every day. You get into these, you get into the comment section here. Both John and I will see you. Well, guess what? It tends to be the same people.
It does.
Hi, Jimmy. Chris is usually in here. It's usually the same people.
Yeah.
What about everybody else?
That's the strategy. There you go. I love it. I mean, I really do think that you need to do a consulting project and sell the ebook for like $70 or something. No? Okay. Yeah.
I think, hey, why don't we put together, remember, this was about 20 years ago. You remember that book that this woman wrote? It became a bestseller. Everything Men Know About Women. And it had a great graphic on the cover, and it was a real thick book. and it was just blank pages inside.
Yes.
And
Perfect. Yep.
so we can do that. We can put together like a 300-page PDF. We'll design a great cover, how to
Yep.
succeed on Hive in
Yep.
3 easy steps. Step 1, read step 2. Step 2, read step 3. And step 3, show up every day. And we'll charge $49.99 for that.
Dude, we're going to be bestsellers. I can see it now.
And then we'll use your affiliate marketing skills. And I mean, we'll end up with like 1 million HBD in Hive savings.
Yeah, but Blaine's just said in Facebook, wait, you're supposed to show up every day? Yes. No. It's completely guarded secret. Blaine and I are actually writing that ebook now, too. I think Blaine's is called Stop Being Lazy, You SOB, and Do Something by Blaine Jones. Dr. Blaine Jones.
Yes. And the subtitle is, I will downvote you if you put an E on Blaine.
Yes, and if you put a Y in there, it's rage quit time. So, yeah. Thank you for the question, Dev.
I noticed I haven't seen Raymond on listeners of late. I think Blaine just blocked his IP.
Yeah, because he used the E and the Y. It was like
so Blaine just went and blocked the IP. I think he blocked the whole damn country. Nobody in Scotland can get on listeners now. Blaine just said screw them, and he blocked all of Scotland.
Speaking of Raymond, the next question is actually by Tokenized Society, and he said he heard that there was a few issues with BroFi because their main developer went AWOL, but I haven't heard anything else after that. Do you have any more details? Should we revoke delegations? I don't know.
I would. Yeah. Task Manager,
right?
Used with Taskmaster.
Okay.
Has evidently gone missing, and he was the one who put it together, and evidently it went missing a while ago. Hopefully nothing happened to him, but anyway, and the app worked, the script worked for a while, but then it encountered some hiccups, and hell, it just might need to be reset on the server. It might be that simple, but without the person with all the info on it, it might be dead. So I don't know. I haven't spoken to Raymond. I haven't had any DMs, and I haven't seen him put out anything. If they are planning on something else, or it's just remove it. I don't know. I would suggest if you have a lot of stuff there, remove it and figure out something else for a curation trail or whatever.
There you go. I did not know. Now you know. Oblivion Cubed is up. How do you folks keep liquidity for Hive? I'm seeing a lot of swap Hive on your site, but only 13 liquid Hive right now. What happens if someone attempts to withdraw more liquid Hive than you have liquidity for? I assume the transaction just fails. Doesn't work. If you're talking about Hive Pay, you send it to Hive Pay. Hive Pay sends it right back to you. Same thing with Leodex with them. If you bring into Leodex, they'll send it right back to you. How do we get more liquidity? Well, for our case, we provided liquidity ourselves. Blaine, Eliana, and Django were not rolling in the ducats, so everything was out of pocket. We funded it with 1,000 swap Hive and 1,000 liquid Hive. That was self-funded, and we just kind of let the ball get rolling. So as it picks up, more people add, and slowly it starts adding away, chipping away. We start growing. We can do liquidity pools. That is a completely foreign language to Blaine and I. We've looked at diesel pools and stuff like that. Completely foreign. And there's absolutely no documentation. There's no explanation. They literally have a big buy button that says, send 1,000 B tokens to this and you get it. And that's it. Like, there's absolutely nothing explaining what anything does or how. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. So we haven't gone that route just because we don't feel like giving them 1,000 B just for this. And then trying to get support from it. So right now, just like Tass said, if you're doing 10 Hive, 5 Hive, 50 Hive, you're swapping back and forth, no problem. Hive Pay can do it. If you need the bigger swaps, you might have to go with directly through TribalDex or Hive Engine. because they obviously have a lot more liquidity. They have this thing called Splinterlands that feeds the beast. So apparently that makes a little bit of money. I don't know if you've heard. It's kind of a big deal. So,
Well,
yeah.
I will say I put one time 1,000 or 1,500. I was going from Hive to Swap Hive, and
Mhm.
I did 1,000 or 1,500 through HivePay, and I just hit it, where there was very little Hive, but a lot of Swap Hive. So I was
Mhm.
able to do my transaction, and I drained the Swap Hive and
Oh,
filled
I've
it up
done that a few
with
times
Hive.
too. Yeah, I do that too. I'm
So
not gonna lie.
sometimes you can get lucky, but
Yeah.
HivePay is always the one I check out first, and I'm pretty sure I can always get it through if it's under 100. Over that,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're probably pretty good under 200, but then over that, it's just when you hit it, if you're lucky or not.
There you go. Good question. Hope it helps. Lisa's up. I tried reading the white paper, but could not figure out where it says how my voting impacts my mana. Starting at 100%, how many full votes can I give? How many at 50, and so on? And what is the lowest I should be letting my mana go to each day? My hive power is 4,600. If that makes a difference. So I'll answer one part and then I'll let Task, because Task is a lot smarter than me. The first part for me, I actually had this question from my buddy that I referred, who's been creating on Hive, Rick Scarrow. If anyone wants to follow him, he's a noob. But I told him I don't let mine go down below 80. Now I know Task sets it like 90. I think that's where you don't let yours goes down to. So it's kind of a personal preference, really. But I've always set it around 80. I try to never let it go below, simply because it replenishes in 24 hours 20%. So my thinking, even though it's kind of warped a little bit, is 24 hours from now I'll be at 100%. But that doesn't take into account that I'm voting throughout those 24 hours as well. But that's kind of my number. I don't know for you. Well, yeah. What is it? I think a full upvote takes. What can you do? 20 to get down to 80
10.
or 10, right?
Well, 11 actually, because it's 2%, but
2%.
it's 2% on 100, then it's 2% on 98, 2% on 96, 2% on
Right.
94 and change. So, yeah, you get 10 or 11 at 100%. Then obviously, if you're adjusting the percentages, it's all over the board. I tend to try to stay in between. And I've shared this before. During the day, I try to stay between 90 and 98, 99. And then at night, what I'll do, because I don't start curating first thing in the morning, I do a couple other things and I do a post. So I'll push it down maybe 87 on the overnight, knowing
Right. Then
that
it goes
it'll
back
go up
up.
about
Yeah.
10% overnight, and that'll put me in the 97, 98 range. Uh, so that's really where I put that in. And what was the other question? I don't even remember.
Yeah, just how many full votes couldn't she get at 100%, and then what's the lowest my voting managed get?
Well,
So we tackled
I
it.
mean, each 100% vote is worth
2%.
2%
Mm-hmm.
of your total. And so if you wanted, you obviously, to go from 100 to 0 doesn't give you 50 votes, as I just said, because it's 2% of 98, then 2% of, what would that be? 96.2, then 2% of, and
Right.
so you end up getting a lot more, as you got to do the factoring all the way down. But again, it's just keep it above 80%. Just keep an
Mm-hmm.
eye on it. If you are going to be away from the computer for a while, you go to work, you can't get on till tonight, well, push it down into the mid 80s. Just give yourself some room.
Yeah.
If you're doing it at the end of the day before you go to bed, and you're very busy in the morning, you got errands to run, you're not going to be getting on until maybe mid afternoon. Again, push it down maybe into the mid 80s so you don't hit that 100% mark. And just if you're around during the day, you can constantly keep monitored. HiveStats.io is a great tool to monitor your voting power. and you can pull it up on your phone if you're not at home, and you can just take a look, and you know where you're at.
Yep. Good stuff. And finally, our last question of the week from Dr. Lobes. Maybe it's time to dig in a bit into the Larynx and Duet tokens. They are in really early stages. Right now, Larynx is not useful that much, only if you run an SPK node. But thinking about that Duet token, right now the price is low because mostly the node runners buy it. But in the future, when there will be NFTs for the Ragnarok game, I think more and more people will start to buy Duet tokens in exchange for them for CRT in-game NFTs. And as always, where is the demand? Where the demand is, price goes up. Yeah, I mean, I claimed mine this week. I kind of had it was a little confusing because I went to Deluxe, but you have to go to a completely separate site.
Yeah.
So it's still on Deluxe, but it's a different site. So I, of course, again, not being the smartest guy in the world, it took me a second to figure out, but I got it, claimed it, no problem. Everything's good to go. And it was a 1-for-1. So I'm sitting there with like 120,000 Duet tokens, and I'm like, holy crap, I could actually sell these for a bit. But nope, I'm not. I'm keeping them because first of all, I believe in Dan and Starkers. I believe in Ragnarok. I believe in the Speak Network. I believe in 3Speak. I believe in everything they've said and done and championed for this blockchain. They haven't wavered. So to me, it's definitely, I agree with you, Dr. Lobes. It's a buy and hold, or if you got them with the airdrop, a hold. I wouldn't sell these. I don't think I would sell them. You know, you put a gun to my head, maybe if my life depended on it. But other than that, yeah, I'm holding them. But there you go.
I think that is an ideal question for Tuesday. Why don't we get it from the horse's mouth?
Yeah,
make a note of that to ask them, because
that's what date is that? That is the
second. Is
yes,
third,
the second,
third.
May 3rd.
Yeah, May 3rd, 1:30 Eastern time, 11:30 Pacific time.
Perfect. That is our schedule for next week, guys. We got the CTT guys, as they call me, Dan and Starkers, coming back. Their third appearance on the show. So that'll be a lot of fun on Tuesday, 1:30 Eastern. So just 30 minutes later. And
with those guys, it's usually a little bit longer than an hour because they have a lot of knowledge. They have a lot of things to share. And as John just mentioned, their fingers are in a lot of different things. So it's not like we don't have a bunch of topics to talk about.
Yes. It will be longer than an hour. It will be. But this one wasn't. This one was good. Look at this. We're under an hour. So that's a sign, man. We should tap out, call it a day, and thank everyone for listening to the show.
Thank you for the questions, everybody. Thank you for showing up. We appreciate you, even if we sometimes don't act like it.
Yes, we do. We love everyone.
Especially those people who tune in live and have to look at two guys who have faces that look like catcher's mitts. You people on recording,
yes,
you're saved that.
You're safe. Yep.
You are saved that.
Thank you guys for listening. Have a great weekend. Be good to each other, and we'll see you on Tuesday with CTT guys. Toodles.
Ciao.